Welcome to Triumph IAS. It's a daily mains practice question and answer series. This program is exclusively designed for UPSC CSE aspirants. In this video discussion, we will discuss UPSC CSE mains previous 25-year questions. Question number 1. Why do some of the most prosperous regions of India have an adverse sex ratio for women? Give your arguments. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. As per the census, 2011, the child sex ratio, 0 to 6 years, has shown a decline from 927 females per thousand males in 2001 to 919 females per thousand males in 2011. The main body of the answer should be. Notably, some of the most prosperous regions of India like Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, Maharashtra and Gujarat have lowest sex ratio. There are multiple factors responsible for the skewed gender ratio. Number 1. In states like Haryana, the patriarchal institutions very strong, often dictating the social norms which most of the times conforms to orthodoxy and traditions. For example, Khap Panchayat. Number 2. With the average family size decreasing rapidly and preference for male child remaining the same, the female child population is showing a downward trend. Number 3. Ironically, it has been observed that the sex ratio goes on decreasing with increasing educational status of parents and with increasing birth order. Number 4. Most common factor responsible for girl-child negligence is domestic violence and ill-treatment by husband and in-laws. Number 5. Male child is preferred for economic concerns, security in old age and performance of last rites. Number 6. In prosperous regions, easier access to new technology that allowed for prenatal gender determination like ultrasound machines led to sex-selective abortions. Number 7. Customs like dowry and increasing trend of expensive marriages in the cities discourage people to go for female child. Number 8. Negative attitude towards girls in the patriarchal society and increasing crime rate against women are also important factors. Number 9. Lack of political will and administrative deficiencies are responsible for alarming sex ratio in few regions. The conclusion of the answer is: to correct the persistence in adverse sex ratio, India need is to change the mindset and attitudes of people, especially young adults. The government should popularize widow remarriages and reduce the menace of dowry. Participation of women should be increased in all aspects. Question number 2. How far do you agree with the view that tribunals curtail the jurisdiction of ordinary courts? In view of the above, discuss the constitutional validity and competency of the tribunals in India. Let's start with the introduction of the answer. The 42 India Amendment Act, 1976 provided for the establishment of tribunals free from the control of high courts and subjected only to the limited appellate jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Moving on to the main body of the answer. Number 1. Tribunal is a quasi-judicial institution, and a tribunal is not a court of normal jurisdiction. Tribunals have very specific and predefined work area. Unlike courts, the tribunal can be a party to the dispute. There is no code of procedure in a tribunal and it is headed not by a judge or chairman. Number 2. Article 323A was added to the Constitution on the recommendation of Swarn Singh Committee, which provided for the administrative tribunals. Similarly, National Green Tribunal was established in 2010. Number 3. Parliament has inflicted damage on high courts with rampant tribunalization. Tribunals have replaced high courts for disputes under the Companies Act, Competition Act, SEBI Act, Electricity Act, Consumer Protection Act among others. Number 4. Any person aggrieved by an order of an appellate tribunal can directly appeal to the Supreme Court, sidestepping the High Court. This raises 3 institutional concerns. Number 1. These tribunals do not enjoy the same constitutional protection as high courts. Many tribunals still owe allegiance to their parent ministries. Number 2. Tribunals are also not as accessible as high courts. For example, there are just 4 benches of the Green Tribunal for the whole country. Number 3. Conferring a direct right of appeal to the Supreme Court from tribunals has changed the Supreme Court from being a constitutional court to a mere appellate court. The conclusion of the answer is: the tribunal has to exercise its powers in a judicious manner by observing the principles of natural justice. It should be kept in mind that if high courts lose their prominence, India's justice delivery system will be the principal loser. Question number 3. What do you understand by run-of-the-river hydroelectricity project? How is it different from any other hydroelectricity project? Let's start with the introduction of the answer. Run-of-river hydroelectricity is a type of hydroelectric generation plant whereby little or no water storage is provided. It is considered ideal for rivers that can sustain a minimum flow or those regulated by reservoir upstream. The main body of the answer is: it is power station utilizing the run-of-the-river flows for generation of power with sufficient bondage for supplying water for meeting diurnal or weekly fluctuations of demand. E.g. Nathpa Jhakri Dam, Baglihar Dam, etc. Points of difference from other hydroelectricity projects are: Number 1. Conventional hydro project requires reservoirs, whereas it either has little or no water storage. Number 2. Absence of reservoir eliminates the chances of methane and carbon dioxide emissions caused by the decomposition of organic matter. Number 3. Absence of reservoir decreases the chances of flooding of the upper part of the river. Number 4. It requires less cost of production in comparison to other hydro projects. The conclusion of the answer is: recently, China is developing run-of-river project on upper side of Brahmaputra River, which caused in northeast as Assam, and Arunachal Pradesh is located at downstream of Brahmaputra.